Now we see the chaos and the heated protests going on in Anaheim. Now something similar seems to be unfolding in Dallas, Texas. For more, Charles Goodson, a member of Guerrilla Mainframe, joins me now. Welcome, Charles. So what more do we know about the case there in Dallas?
Well, what we do know is that people in the community there are very much upset about what they've been told, at least from the officers' report and the media reports, very contradictory to what actually happened in the case with Mr. James Harper, 31 years old, who was shot and killed by Officer Brian Rowden. We were told that supposedly there was a physical fight and 3 fences were jumping, but people who were actually there and witnessed what happened state that, in fact, there was a foot chase, but Officer Rowden actually shot James Harper afterwards.
I know that,
and of course, he was unarmed.
That officer is claiming that he feared for his life, and that is what prompted him to shoot the suspect. What do you think about that?
Well, it's an interesting thing. Officer Rowden did not require any type of medical attention. If he actually feared for his life and there was actually a real conflict, physically speaking, a fist fight, a fisticuffs, then we felt that he would actually have to require some medical attention, and he didn't need any. All we know is the fact, of course, that James Harper was left dead, and the community is strictly and rightfully so outraged.
Now, in the wake of this, hundreds of people have been taking to the streets protesting what had happened there. Charles, what exactly are protesters demanding?
Well, they're demanding justice. They're demanding that they treat Officer Rowden as any other person would, not any type of special treatment just because he's an officer, and treat the Harper family, James Harper specifically, his mother, his father, who are very upset about this. Treat them as people because they lost a son, a family person, an individual. The community is upset because the Dixon Circle area is a long-standing community who support one another every single day in their lives, and they're just wanting support and they want justice, and that's all we're asking for, as well as justice, and we're demanding justice too because the people in the community are very much so organized and ready to take justice.
What exactly does justice mean to you in this case?
Well, justice means, of course, Brian Rowden being prosecuted, indicted, and sent off for murder. You need to actually physically go to the penitentiary and serve time, and serve as a deterrent for future officers that are going to join the force, for that matter, so they can realize that if you choose to do something like this, you can be put in jail. They need to know this. And the history here in Dallas, Texas, has been that no officer has ever been indicted or brought upon in any felony charges as relates to death in custody with people. We have a whole list of people that I want to discuss here. Bobby Walker, John Husband, Tobias Mackey, who just was shot 9 times in 2010, shot 9 times, mind you, and also an 11-year-old child was shot in that same incident, and the officer, Matthew Tate, was actually allowed to resign, and no charges brought against him. All the time what we see, and I'm sure around the country, all of these are no bills, and we're sick and tired of that.
And Charles, you're pointing out this trend. There has been a series of deaths, it sounds like, over there in Dallas within the past year. So what exactly are you saying? What are you accusing the police force there of? And do you think, is it corruption? And if so, do you think it's something that is ingrained in the police department? Would you say that it's systematic there?
It is very much so systematic. Whenever you get to the point where the community can no longer trust the police, then you have a problem. In terms of the district attorney, I've heard one lawyer say, and he said it plainly, that you can easily indict a ham sandwich. A prosecutor can easily indict a ham sandwiches. And because I've personally worked on several cases and actually been there with the family, that each time it is approached by the grand jury, there's always no bill. So there's a systematic thing going on here, and it is sad to say, but the community here in Dallas, Texas, and I'm sure in Oakland, California, with Oscar Grant and all the other things going on in Anaheim with Mr. Diaz, that the community has lost hope and faith in the police department, and rightfully so.
And what do we know about the accused police officer?
Well, In terms of his track record, I'll be quite honest, I'm not 100% sure on his track record. But what I can tell you is, in terms of the department, with the Chief David Brown, he is continuously allowing this sort of thing to go on in his administrative, and he's also to blame for this as well. And I think the District Attorney Craig Watkins has a part in blaming this, because they're just allowing this thing to go on. The community is getting outraged. It was an amazing sight, I tell you, to be there in Dixon Circle and see that many people out there, and they was ready to demonstrate and show that they had human rights, for that matter. They was ready. And for as me, in terms of me being involved in this particular movement against police brutality, it was quite a sight to see, and I was glad to be a part of it. I'm going to continue to organize around it, and I want justice for all these families. James Harper, because he's the most recent, John Husband III, Tobias Mackey, who was killed October 29, 2010.
And Charles, a lot of attention being paid now to what is happening over in Anaheim following the shooting of an unarmed man, reportedly unarmed man there, and a lot of protests going on over there because of this. What parallels can you draw between what's happening there in Dallas and what is happening in Anaheim?
Oh, it's the same movement. It's the same movement. We dealing with the same problems. It's a national problem. Couple of murders that I know for sure that took place, looks like with Ramada Bradley in New York, and of course you mentioned Manuel Diaz. It's very much so paralleled. What we're learning from this is that the much community support that you can get, the more chance and opportunity you can bring out awareness that contradiction exists. And that's what we want to bring out to the Dallas citizens here, is that contradiction does exist, and we need to hold the police accountable. So much so, I am a member of Guerrilla Mainframe. I'm actually a co-founder, but there's an organization I am a part of, Dallas Communities Organizers for Change, that has pushed forth ordinance called the Office of the Police Monitor that is going to hold these officers accountable, and we're going to put this on a ballot May 2013 with the support of Dallas citizens. And this is actually something that has been ongoing since the murder of Tobias Mackey in 2010. So we hope to get a lot of support from that. We hope to get some support from various other parts of the country, and we're moving forward with that plan.
Charles, appreciate you coming on the show. That was Charles Goodson, member of the Guerrilla Mainframe. And
can I make one more comment? If a chance if any of your listeners, you can go to www.dallasforchange.org. That's FOR change.org. That is our website. We appreciate you very much,
Charles, thank you,
allowing us to be on.